Well, I suspect everybody is out shopping today or being with family or whatever, and I would hope that's the case. I didn't think I'd be doing another one of these today, but uh, Jesse on BP Earthwatch put something up yesterday. I didn't have a chance to look at it until today, and I just had to bring it up. Hi, everybody. This is Roy Potter. You're on the Potter Expositor. And today is still December 23rd, 2017. I'll say hello, everyone. And yeah, I've watched Jesse of BP Earthwatch for years, and he's always amazing. His information on science, the space, the solar system, the universe, and tying it into scripture and into, well, just everything he does has always been interesting. And I'm not scratching his back because he's mentioned me. I think I've talked about BP Earthwatch and Jesse for a number of years from time to time. So I'm really not doing this for any other reason than what he put out. Well, he's put out a lot of things on the Q posts and on this whole thing with the new executive order seizing the property of human rights abusers, and of course the Treasury regulation that is now supporting that. And I hope, Jesse, BP Earthwatch, you forgive me for doing this. I'm going to tie you into somebody else that maybe you wouldn't like. I don't know, because I haven't put that together, whether or not you have some appreciation for this other person. I'm going to say I can't say that I followed him very closely. Matter of fact, I didn't even know about this person until probably a year ago, 2 years ago, not very long ago. It was during the campaign, the 2016 campaign. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So let me give you a little background here. There was a minister. I don't even know what he called himself. A lot of people called him a prophet. And the spirit of, like I said in the last video, the spirit of Christ is the spirit of prophecy. And some people, it's a gift also. There are those who give gifts of a gift of tongues, the gift of discernment, and the gift of prophecy, right? So you can't just set aside something when somebody says something and says that God's telling him to say it. You've at least got to evaluate it in some way or form. Some of you will remember this name, I'm sure, but it was new to me about a year ago, and his name was Kim Clement. I'm not sure what the enunciation is of the name. I've heard it several ways, and I'm going to tell you where I first heard it from. And a lot of you will know this gentleman as well. His name is Trey Smith on God in a Nutshell on YouTube, right? And it's also, he has a website by that name as well. And I followed Trey Smith for a long time. I have a lot of respect for what he does. He has a unique delivery, and I've talked about that before. Well, okay, in somewhere back in like 2008, somewhere in there, this gentleman, Kim Clement, made a prophecy that Trump would be president and that he would turn the country around and that we'd become prosperous again. And I could go along with that, obviously, especially since that was fulfilled, right? But you could say, well, a lot of people were talking about that because Trump was going to run before. Here's the catch. And I put this out on a video, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago. The other thing that Kim said in this prophecy was that Bill Gates would help to rebound the economy of the United States. Well, anybody that knows about Bill Gates, you got to look at that and say, that guy's a New World Order dude. He's done some evil stuff. The vaccines, for instance, talking about, the death lists, for healthcare, all of that. And you're thinking, the reduction in population, all that. So I thought, well, Kim got it half right, but a prophet can't be half right. It's when he says, God says this, it's got to be 100% down the line. So forgive me, Trey Smith, if you're watching this. Forgive me, Jesse, BP Earthwatch. If you got, but I'm kind of, I kind of look at these things. But I didn't discount it at all because I could tell that Kim was a great man, okay? And great people had a lot of appreciation for him. Trey Smith of again, God in a nutshell was one. So anyway, I just kind of put that aside and, filed it away and just kind of waited around, and actually I kind of forgot about it until this. Okay, BPEarthwatch. You all know who it is. You all know who BPEarthwatch is. Go to his channel on YouTube, and I think, at least at this point in time, it's the last video that he put up, and it's called Trump's New Executive Order Part 2, Big Takedown. I'm absolutely stunned. Because first of all, this is an excellent summary and evaluation that Jesse has done here. Absolutely, it's to the point. It gets to the meat of the thing. Very, very good. And he talks about the annex and the Treasury order and all this. Let me tell you where this money comes from and why Kim Clement was correct. Not only did Trump become president, but amongst all of the different groups, and he talked about this guy from Israel, this Gertler guy, Jesse did, talked about Gertler, how many times he's on this list of these organizations that Trump's going after. He's a prominent guy. He's listed on there, I don't know, at least a half a dozen times, right? His foundations and other things. And anybody tied to him, right? Well, who's tied to him? Well, most of us wouldn't be too surprised that, the Clinton Foundation is. So their assets have been frozen, right? But who else is on this list? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Do you understand what I'm telling you? In a roundabout way, probably because it wasn't revealed to him completely for whatever reason, or, when you get these downloads from God, then you've got to kind of, I don't know what else to say. It's almost like a translation into your thoughts, because it doesn't come to you. I can't even describe it. Most of you probably know what I'm talking about. You have to put it in a language. And I remember seeing Kim Clement saying this, and he was definitely in the spirit. There was no doubt about it. He played his music and those things, but you could tell it was really, really weighing on him, right? And he said that, and here we go. They've frozen the assets of Gates, the Gates Foundation, and probably a lot of Gates stuff, Microsoft and these other things, like with Google and Eric Schmidt and all that. So Trey Smith, the family of Kim Clement, wife and kids, I think he has a daughter. I just had to bring this out today, even though there's a lot of, family things going on and all that. I had to make this official, okay? Because I don't know if people have taken, I guess, some of the things that Kim said and agreed with it, but I like to get the meat of it. I like to get the verification. And here was the verification that indeed, whether he wants to or not, it's not voluntary, I'm sure, Bill Gates and the money that's going to be seized from all of the things that he's done wrong are going to help the economy of the United States to stand back up. So I just needed to pass that on to everybody. Again, I want to congratulate Trey Smith for having the courage that he does to bring this out. And I'm not real popular in the born-again Christian community, and that doesn't even bother me. That's fine, because it just doesn't bother me that much. But regardless, I still like to give credit when credit is due, and this was absolutely amazing. So Jesse, thank you for doing what you did. Again, I hope I'm not misusing your trust here, or maybe pushing something that you're not a part of. I don't know how Kim Clement and Trey Smith and all this links in to your interests or your concerns, but I had to pull it together. I just had to, because this is monumental as far as I'm concerned. So I will take some questions now and see. I might have to move a little closer here because I can see the screen. Christian is as Christian does. Good. Trey Smith is awesome. I agree. I love Obama. All right, whatever. That's okay. You have to do grocery shopping. Yes, I know a lot of people have a lot of things to do today, but I just had to throw this out there because it was so incredible. Yes, Make America Great Again. The rocket in LA, we already know that was an Iridium from SpaceX. Go look it up. As a matter of fact, I put something out on Twitter about it that somebody else had put out, and then I retweeted it. And yeah, it was definitely an Elon Musk thing. It's the Iridium 4 satellite. When Q posts that, he talked about the missile. He left out one of the I's, and that stood for Iridium. Now, the interesting thing about that is that Iridium, this whole thing with that satellite deal, is funded by Soros. Well, wow. So what's going to happen there? Right? You get the picture? Again, with all of these seizures of assets, kind of interesting. So we'll see how that turns out. But that's what that was. It wasn't a UFO. It wasn't a nuclear missile being fired at the United States from North Korea. It was an Iridium 4 SpaceX launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base, by the way. Okay. And when I watched that, the trajectory, you know, Isaac Green on, I forget the name of his channel, but it's You Didn't Learn It in School or something like that is his YouTube site. He was saying, yeah, it was weird because it just kind of hovered in the sky. Well, it was the trajectory. It was from north to south. And so if it went, you know, from east to west, you would have seen it go a lot faster, but it was going north to south, so it kind of looked like it was anti-school. Yes, thank you. So it kind of fooled you into thinking that it was kind of hovering when in fact it wasn't. It was actually moving, you know, from a north to south trajectory. So that's what that was. And we've seen these kinds of things before with Vandenberg firings and or launches and even submarine launches, things like that. So yeah, let me see what else here. Isaac Green is awesome. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I sent him a thank you today because I think he does such a fine job. He and Jordan Sather and those group there of that up and coming generation are amazing. They are the leaders of their generation, and I'm just really happy that we have these young people that are doing these things. Yeah, Tracy's been great. Say hi to Monty. Okay, let me see if we got anything else. So did Trump seize Hillary? Apparently, from this order, everything that was listed in that order and in the Treasury Annex and all of that, apparently it happened or was in the process of happening when it went operational yesterday, I think it was. I think he signed it on the 21st, and it went operational on the 22nd or the 23rd today. I think it was yesterday, actually. So if they haven't seized them, they've at least frozen the assets. They're done. They can't do anything. They are done. And the CIA is done in Korea because right now there are 3 carrier groups there, and Trump's saying, you know, you're not going to play this game of blackmail anymore, clowns in America, CIA using the North Koreans as a front. You're done, okay? Taking you out around the world and other places, and now we're coming. And of course, North Korea, you know, Obama was CIA, Hillary and Bill Clinton were CIA, and how many others were. So that's kind of their hub, their last area where they thought that they could blackmail the world, and Trump saw it. And I'm sure Flynn is in there helping him out still, General Flynn. Okay, so this is just momentous. Okay, and again, I want to give thanks to Trey Smith for this. Okay, it is a Nazi cult. Yeah, they just brought it over from there. Let's see. Sorry, I missed that. North Korea is run by hold it. North Korea is run by British intelligence. Well, the entire IC community works together. They make it sound like it's separate. The CIA, MI5, you know, Saudi intelligence, Israeli intelligence, Mossad. But the IC is all kind of one thing, really, when you really get down to it. And I can't really get into the details of that, but it's sort of like they're all part of the mob. You know, you have the Chicago mob bosses, and you have the New York mob bosses, and you have the LA mob bosses, whatever. But they're all doing the same thing. But they're vying for power, right? They are vying for power, but they're all working on the same team virtually, which is the evil side. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, there's no honor amongst thieves, right? Right? So that pretty well describes what that's about. Okay, yeah. Someone here said they were hoping that Hillary and Podesta were on their way to outer space. I don't know about that, but okay, let's see if we can get this going again. I don't know if we can. Once I stop it, it doesn't like to do. Do you move around your feed to be safe? This is Emoticonia. Yeah, how did you guess? Yeah, I do. Very good. I do. And the few times that I haven't, and I've done it like twice in the same place in a row, I've been visited usually by a very shapely 5'7" to 5'9", 40 to 50-ish, although sometimes a little younger, blonde. They know my type. They play games with me quite a bit, and other things have happened. And I've talked about it in the past, so I won't waste time here. But yeah, I move around quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know anything about Kim Jong-un's wife missing. Maybe she was informing somebody and he took her out. I don't know. She seemed to be a very nice lady, by the way, as far as I could take. Merry Christmas to the world, yeah. And there won't be any UN troops. Remember, I said Trump's not going to allow that. There's no way in hell is Trump going to allow that to happen. It just won't happen. The few that we have here right now, I imagine are getting ready to pack their bags. And we've known about foreign troops. I mean, I used to train them here in the U.S., so I know that they're here. Most of the time it's for training things, right? It's kind of like an agreement, to try to build good diplomatic relations. But there were some here, and there have been some here, that had maleficent purposes. But I'm pretty sure that Trump's moving those guys out. I doubt that they're going to be here very much longer, if they're here at all right now. Gertler, yeah, Spirit of Truth. He was tied to Gertler's foundation. Who is this? See, that's what I don't know. Who is Spirit of Truth? Who is that? If somebody can tell me, okay, I would appreciate it. No, Quinn Michaels is wrong. Q is not AI. There's no way. I don't know why you'd even say that. No, there's no way that Q's AI. No, that's not true. No, I don't know what else to tell you. That's not true. I don't know where Quinn Michaels got that. And I don't really know much about Quinn Michaels, but I know enough about him to know that's not true. Okay, there's no way. Deep state is global. That's correct. It is. That's why I say the IC, the intelligence community. I don't just talk about the CIA. I don't just talk about Mossad. I don't just talk about, those different things. Even in Russia, they have close ties to the international intelligence community, but Putin's been trying to clean them out too, just like Kim Clement said, California will rain down by God. I don't know. See, a lot of these things are euphemisms. And like I said, maybe in the translation from the spiritual communication to trying to put it in language, it sometimes, loses some of its impact. So just be patient there. I mean, it could be all this, who knows what that means. It could have been the rain of the, with all the spraying that's been done in California, with all the aluminum dioxide that's landed in the trees and in the grasses. And, and aluminum dioxide, when it's ignited by a high enough temperature, it's an accelerant. So a lot of this that's going on could very well be what he was talking about. I don't know. I'm not certain. But anyway, we'll just go on from there and just watch and see what happens. Let's see. McCabe is a Chicago gangster. Everybody tied into Obama is in that category too. All right. Let's see if I can answer anything else here. Miss America Queen is spreading disinformation. Q is a human. Yeah. Q is a team. Okay. And I talked about this way early on, probably when I first started seeing Q about October 31st. No, I'm sorry. September 31st, October 1st, somewhere in there. It was later in October. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of the time. It was later in October, and I saw it. And having worked in these kinds of things, I kind of know how it is. There might be one person at a time that uploads the information as Q, but it's coming from a team. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a team. Okay, all right. Let's see what else we got here. Serco, very good. Jeff Campbell. Multinational corporation, nasty, very, very bad. Able Danger talks about it all the time. So go to Able Danger and look, and you'll see a lot of things about Serco there that'll make your hair stand up on the back of your neck. Do you know of a lady named Susan Lindauer? Yeah, I've been interviewed by her on her covert report probably twice. It was a few years back. And yes, of course, she said that she was a CIA asset and, was involved in trying to show this whole, well, kind of like the Sybil Edmonds thing. She was kind of very similar to the things that were going on there. And they basically said that she, violated her, I guess it was the agreement to, not to divulge information. It's slipping from me right now. Can you tell I had a couple of beers? I did, okay. All right, so at any rate, and then they threw her in prison for it. It was to shut her up about the whole Iraq thing and 9/11, basically. Yeah, so I do know about her. Keyhole, there are different variants of that. Basically, Q is calling the key the NSA, and the whole part of it would be the Patriots, okay, that kind of thing. I'm sorry, the keystone, that's the keystone. The keyhole, I'm not sure about that, is laid out like one with the elbow. Oh, I see what you're saying, the keyhole. Yeah, I'm not sure I could answer that one. I'm sorry. And I confused it with keystone. I apologize. Like I said, it is Saturday, right? Okay. The Antichrist. Seriously? Well, okay. I'm going to come to BP Earthwatch's defense here. Okay, somebody's saying Benjamin Carter, and he's saying that BP Earthwatch claimed God visited him and told him who the Antichrist is. How do you know he didn't? I'm not going to say he didn't. Again, go by the fruits. Let's see. Did Jesse say who it was that God identified? Maybe he's not supposed to. But maybe he can say he knows. It's like I said earlier on my other video. Be very careful how you judge people. The fruit. Judge them by their fruits. Judge them by. It's like this thing with Kim Clement when he said it would be Trump and Bill Gates, and I went, Bill Gates is nothing like Trump. He's a scumbag. He's a lying, cheating, euthanizing, eugenics promoter. So I just didn't see how it would work. And now we find this out. So, you got to put some things up on the shelf. You keep your own understanding. You keep your own spiritual base. But there's a scripture that says don't have a stiff neck. And what that means is, sorry, somebody's starting up a big engine over here. You don't want to have a stiff neck. You don't want to, refuse information that's good. So you be a little generous, okay? Don't be stiff-necked, I guess is what I'm saying. Well, that's loud. I'm really sorry. And I don't know about Kim Jong-un's wife. Sorry. Non-disclosure agreement. That was what I was trying to come up with. The NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Okay, let's see what else is there. Q is not AI. I agree. The Bush family is very evil. Has Nazi ties. It's very, very evil. It's why I've never supported Bush, ever. I knew too much about him. Okay, it looks like I've already run through most of these, and they're just repeating now, I think is what's happening. Okay, well, like I said, gosh, it's been 25 minutes again already. We all have things to do because it's Christmas weekend. Go be with your families. Again, go to BP Earthwatch. I'll try to put a link down below after this processes so you'll know exactly which video it is. And I'll probably shoot it over to Trey Smith and his group too. So thanks, everybody. Again, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, season's greetings, Happy New Year. Let's thank God, literally. Get down on our knees and thank Him for showing us what's going on right now, opening our eyes and lifting the chains off of us, because it's ongoing. It's not going to happen overnight. The big fight's ahead of us, okay? A big fight's ahead of us, but it's a lot better going into a fight with your eyes open, knowing who the enemy is. It's like a physician, right? You can't treat a disease until you know what it is. So now our eyes have been open as to what the disease is. Now we can do the countermeasures, okay? All right, everybody. Thanks so much. God bless you all. We'll talk to you later.